feel like that falls into the secret third category.
They're trying to gear their content towards a specific way of going about sharing information, and typically it's just however they feel is right, depending on what publication they are.
Do you think it's more popular now, or do you think it'll become more popular later?
I don't know if it's. I think it seems more popular now. Maybe that's just because
we have more definite numbers,
right? In the consumer space of
yeah,
like people just watch that stuff more.
Yeah,
maybe.
Also, like if Fox News says we reached 70 million people last month, what does that mean?
Right.
But if you see like 70 million views on a YouTube video, you're just like, oh, okay, that's a lot.
And then a lot of times people account for all the traction they get on websites.
Yeah.
Whereas views on a specific video kind of equates to a little bit more validity in terms of like who actually is making the content.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
So, I don't know. Terrible segue to like another topic of.
No, go ahead.
I don't know. Okay, I'm trying to think of this. Okay, in terms of or no, speaking of I don't know. Speaking of documentaries and learning things. And
just say
I don't know.
We could just segue it. It'll be fine.
Okay.
Or give me like and I can segue it. Tell me what it is and I can
just the figure of like intelligence in media.
Oh gosh.
And knowing
speaking of legacy media, let's talk about what legacy media lacks. That's intelligence. Bro, have you read the New York Times? It sucks.
Well, yeah, that's interesting.
I get it for free. You know, I have an ad blocker.
Have you like reading the content, like the type of they have simplified the reading skill necessary to read that type of content to a very, very low level. Like I think like right now is probably it's somewhere around like 5th grade, 6th grade level of reading. Right? It used to be high school, college level reading. You know, 50 years ago. It's not anymore.
Just
so. Plus, I mean, they make a lot more money hiring people who aren't aware of more intellectual types of writing. Yeah. So then they can actually profit off of paying them less.
I think there's probably an element of DEI in that too. But you know,
100%.
I mean, if you want, 30% of your employees to be people of color, and then, that's a lot. I don't know where I'm going with that. Anyways,
no, I think
past it.
No, I think I understand what you're mentioning.
But only like 2% are people of color. Then you're gonna get lower.
Yeah, I get that.
You're gonna lower your standards to let the.
And I think a lot of that has to do with just like what profile they think they have with like people who are their customers.
Yeah, and
I don't know.
It's New York Times especially has existed for like so many years.
Yeah.
Now I don't remember.
I mean, same for Washington Post and CNN's been around for forever.
And so they have a repertoire of we were good in the past,
right?
Which I think that's a problem with a lot of.
But using that repute as like a way to kind of just move things along right now, even though they can't do a whole lot.
Yeah, I think that's a problem with a lot of. I have that about some certain colleges that I may or may not be attending.
Right.
Because I feel like in the past, you were great, but give me an example. Give me multiple examples of somebody in the present that is great. Can they?
Yeah, I think most of it though comes from just they imagine themselves as being the best because they need you to get there.
Yeah.
They need your money.
Yeah, exactly.
And if they don't get your money, then
what are they gonna do?
They send you more junk mail and tell you that you should have done better with your life.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is just a terrible segue.
That's why
this is a terrible section of like going from documentaries and knowledge on the internet to like knowledge that's more specific, or maybe general.
What? What?
Like
Oh,
general
goodness.
intelligence.
General intelligence.
Right.
Yeah.
So
let's talk about. Okay, I got a segue for this.
You got a segue. All right. Here's a segue, everyone.
So like, I'm never going to tell people that I went to school because I don't think school should be able to use me. And so let's talk about general intelligence. That's such a bad segue, but let's talk about intelligence.
Right.
General intelligence. I think the general populace has grown increasingly more stupid. And that's my opinion.
Right.
I don't think that's an opinion. I think that's a fact.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we just talked about why like writing has been dumbed down.
Yeah.
To just a very low level.
Yeah.
Where anybody can read, but you also are limited by only knowing 3 things about the article and not the 10 things that should have been implied.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I was learning recently about Charles Spearman. He was like an English psychologist, and he lived through both world wars.
Wow.
He was a professor at the University College in London. So he wasn't only a professor at a college, but also a university, which was called University College. No, just let's see. He okay, but the thing about him was that he had really interesting studies related to like correlation coefficient and how people actually learn things. This had to do with a lot of his study had to do with like IQ, right? And how that's measured.
Yeah. What's your IQ?
I don't know what my IQ is. I have never taken an IQ test. Ever. Didn't
so either. Well, you don't take one online.
Well, yeah.
Okay,
good. I haven't taken a physical one.
Okay.
Though. Like the ones online I'm really skeptical about because
they're
it's
not
a bunch
accurate.
It's probably 5 people who work together and somebody's
they're like as accurate as BuzzFeed quizzes. Right?
Yeah, they probably have like their headquarters in somebody's basement, and
I don't think they have a headquarters. I think it's just some guy that was like, I'm gonna make an IQ test today.
It's so easy though to make websites and just like yeah. So that's why most of it is just. Anyways,
he was studying IQ.
Yeah. So a lot of his career had to do with, I forget what he was studying prior, before he was a professor. But he had a lot to do with the development of intelligence and like what intelligence is and how you measure it. And the measure of like the G factor is, it basically means it's basically a like particular quantity derived from like statistical operations or tasks or sequences and how you answer questions, and these different types of general intelligences are like memory and learning and visual, like broad visual perception, broad auditory perception, and like being able to just learn things and then act on them like right away, right off the bat, which then has to do with like reaction time and stuff. And the thing that was interesting about that is that like broader forms of intelligence, like they're less focused on like one particular thing, and it results in like higher outcomes. If you're good at one thing, then you're most likely to be good in other areas. So that's kind of what he studied as like general intelligence. That's like that's like a separate possibility to how everybody thinks and how they go about life. Even though they have like a specific role in society, maybe they have some of them have an above average general awareness about them in multiple fields. Like so like Alfred Binet, he was the guy behind the IQ test, one of the first ones that became really popular in the States. And uh, this test was kind of where Spearman got his ideas of like the G factor, and then he could define uh, like what it was based off of a test with multiple tasks, like math, like English, like science, right?
Mhm.
Um,
He invented the ACT and SAT?
no, he didn't. He didn't
Okay.
invent that test.
I have problems
That's a
with whoever
whole
did.
that's a whole nother test that was like invented by other people.
Okay.
But
Probably based off of his
no,
work, though, I'm
yeah, I
assuming.
think so
Yeah.
because that is connected to Benet's and Spearman's research in like in the 70s and 80s,
Mhm.
doing research for like just IQ level reasoning. Like,
Mhm.
but the thing is, like, some people really believe that numbers could just define you like that,
Yeah, it's
and
ridiculous.
and the reason for a lot of people just understanding IQ as like the default level of intelligence, or how smart you are, has to do with kind of this method of going about it.
Yeah. Sorry, my editor just messaged me.
Hmm.
Anyways,
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
don't know. It's yeah,
I think I have so
strange
many
topic.
mixed feelings about that because I think
Because then
on the
it's like,
one hand,
but then Nathaniel, it's like, how do you know if you're actually capable of all of these other skill sets
yeah,
if you haven't even tried them before?
yeah. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. But I think as our culture has progressed, we've gone more away from that. And like when I went to high school the last year, I noticed that there was so few people, and by so few I mean maybe one person total in the entire school who was good at more than just like because you have, the math people, the English people, the history people, but there was like no overlap between and like the people who were good at math were like only good at math and then they were really bad at all other everything. Or, like, not as good, not up to the math levels that they were at. And I think that as our culture has progressed, we've moved away from the idea of like being good at everything and more into you only can be good at one thing. And I think especially like, the saying jack of all trades, master of none has kind of impacted that because it's like a I don't know colloquialism, but we've thrown away the rest of that saying, which is often better than a master of one. And but we've just as a culture thrown that away, and very few people even know like the entire saying, and people lean more into like, oh, being a jack of all trades is not as good as being good at one thing, and so I got to find my one thing that I'm good at and then stick with that until I die. And we're back. Let's talk about the it factor. Okay. Do you know what the it factor is? This is crazy. Am I just like in my own bubble? I'm worried about that. Anyways, so the it factor is like the idea of like celebrities. I should need to stop using like as a filler word. That's really bad. Anyways, yeah, but anyways, um, so it's the idea that like that somebody like think of Lady Gaga or Beyonce or like A-list actors. They all have like very specific celebrities. 'Cause not every celebrity has the it factor. It's like you got charisma, energy, all that jazz. I don't know who Mark Wahlberg is. No. I'd probably recognize his voice. Is he a voice actor? That's fair. Yeah, I don't know what that is either. Sferatu? Mike Wahlberg? Okay. Mark Wahlberg. Oh, is he like Wahlburgers? That's crazy. What? Okay, let's see. I don't think I've seen any of these movies. I do not. I could not. This is just a guy. This is just. Well, yeah. Yeah, it's like a mainstream burger. This is just a guy. This is just a random guy that is just what? Bro, this is just a white guy. I swear I've seen like 50 of this guy. At least over the past year. Anyways, like I need to stop using someone who has yeah. Now next we need to talk about the X Factor. Who's your favorite singer from the X Factor? I don't know what is that the singer thing? Well, actually, the It Factor and the X Factor would go really well together. Well, no, they would. But like you have like stage presence. Do you know what I'm talking about? Because not everybody has stage presence. It's kind of something that you can learn, but I don't think yeah. I don't think everybody has it, and I don't think everybody can get it to the point. That is the it factor. Like if you think of I don't know. Like oh my gosh. If you look at anything of Lady Gaga before she was famous,
Right.
for example.
Yeah.
Um you could just tell that she was going to be famous because she had the stage presence, the like chemistry with the audience, the voice, the very unique voice, the very unique look.
Yeah, yeah.
The it factor.
So is it something that people are born with or they kind of grow into?
I think both. I think probably the biggest people who have the it factor, the most successful people who have the it factor are those that are born with it. Somebody like Beyonce or Lady Gaga. Maybe Taylor Swift. I don't think she has the it factor, but that's
Okay.
besides the point. I don't know why I can't
Robert
think of
Downey
any
Jr.
guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The charisma.
Who else?
The personality.
But that's also more along the lines of mainstream
Well, yeah, because I would
production stuff. That's not really that doesn't have a whole lot to do with like personalized media like YouTube and
well, no,
Netflix shows
I was
that's oh okay you're getting there okay
yeah, I was watching a thing and somebody said that Brett Cooper.
right yeah
That whole thing happened.
so she got kicked off of Daily Wire and now
Yes.
she started her own channel.
Yes.
How is that?
Because
Yeah.
she has the it factor. Brett Cooper has the it
Okay.
factor. She has the stage presence.
Right.
She has
so,
like natural
so she
on
has
screen.
so right. She has 2 videos and 1.9 million subscribers right off the bat. And like,
yeah, which is crazy.
So
that is insane, bro.
Which is so yeah. That just stems from everybody who actually enjoyed her being on the Daily Wire.
But the comparison between her and Reagan Conrad.
Oh, is that her last name?
I think so. I don't know. I wouldn't say that Reagan has the it factor.
No, she's you know what she is? She's kind of just a copy of Brett in the lowest possible way of appeal, right?
Yeah.
So
but like Brett Cooper
I don't know,
before she was a political commentator was an actress professionally.
Right.
And so I don't know, she just has the it factor.
I think the biggest problem was just Brett being kicked out and not any formal leave, right? Like it wasn't
well, and then also being like insulted and
and also just
all the details are still murky.
They're right. It's kind of blurry the way that everything was organized, but
it's true.
Yeah. So how is that separate from, or how are they connected then from the top celebrities of like movie production, and cinema, and like like rom-coms.
Yeah.
How is that different than
Different.
or different and similar maybe at the same time
Yeah.
to channels of individuals who have like created a persona
Mm-hmm.
and a celebrity sort of
Mm-hmm.
thing out of their brand or what they say on the internet?
Mm-hmm. I would say that's a. I don't think that was a great word question. That's the point.
It wasn't a great question.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
but you know what I'm getting
Yeah,
at,
yeah.
right? Like how is that?
I think it's like because Brett Cooper's in the political sphere, and then
Yeah.
actors are in the actor sphere, the entertainer sphere.
Okay.
Like, yeah, Brett Cooper's entertaining, but she's mainly there for like political, just in general,
Like right. Yeah.
politics.
Politics.
And so I think I don't know, just if she would have continued down the actor route, I'm sure that she would be a very famous actress.
Yeah.
She would probably be an A-list celebrity.
Yeah.
Because she just has.
But instead she
charisma.
chose to be an independent creator.
Yes.
Doing her own thing.
Well, relatively
Well,
independent.
right. I mean,
now she's independent. Now she's gonna go
yeah,
crazy.
but I'm saying that was kind of the fork in the road. And
Yeah.
she didn't choose
yes.
the path that most people would have taken
Yes.
in that sense.
Yes.
So is she born with, or she's kind of just grown into somebody who has amassed a large amount of attention?
I think she was born slightly with it.
Okay.
I think anybody who's born with it, you know, it'll grow over time. I think it is something that you can learn, but people can also tell that you don't have it innate in you, if you will. Like, I don't know. If like I picture the idea of like old money versus new money, you know that.
Or like alpha beta type of personality
maybe
culture, right? Like
I was thinking more like because when people are old money, then they kind of have that innate sense of I belong here.
Right.
I like and then new money people are like I don't belong here. Even though new money people may present, the old money people especially can still like sniff them out of you don't belong here.
Okay. So are there certain virtues that people like that they
charisma?
Yeah, I know, but like
Riz,
stuff that just can't
Hadis.
be attained by people of kind of a lower
I wouldn't
socioeconomic
say
status.
lower socioeconomic
Okay, so they're not
I
really
wouldn't say
lower
that
as
it's-
in less.
I wouldn't say if we're talking about the it factor.
Right.
I wouldn't obviously old money, new money. You have to be absurdly wealthy.
Yeah.
But I would say the it factor isn't dependent on socioeconomic status. I'd say it's kind of something you're born with, and if
Okay.
you don't have it, then maybe you can learn. I mean, like how many nepotism babies?
Can you go from someone who is kind of not with it, like not part of that cool kids club,
Mhm.
and can you get to that higher status?
Yeah. I mean, look at Justin Bieber.
Right.
He started as a random kid in Canada
Yeah.
or whatever, was uploading his stuff on YouTube, and now he was one of the biggest artists in the world.
Yeah. But I guess
I would say he has
his
the it
personality, who
factor.
he is kind of also pretty similar to a lot of people who.
I think he's grown that way over time. I don't think
Okay.
initially it was.
Okay.
I think as he moved to LA, I think LA culture sucks, and I think that
It's also really diverse.
yeah. But if you're an A-lister, then it's not diverse, and you're all just snorting coke
Right.
all the time. Like that's just real. I don't know. I think you can. I think as time goes on and more like independent people, YouTube exists.
Yeah.
TikTok exists. Instagram exists. A lot of more people are gonna become A-listers that weren't.
But there are like
initially.
artificial celebrity
Oh,
types
yeah.
of people.
I mean,
you know.
I would say like how many nepotism babies? How many nepo babies? Like of Hollywood A-listers are A-listers themselves in their own right, and not just because my parents are. I don't know who are famous A-list celebrities. My parent is Robert
right.
Downey Jr., and so
Or you
I
just
deserve to be here.
You just grew up in some billionaire family.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. That's my thought.
So do celebrities that
This is
their
a pop
attention
culture
and
section.
or even I don't know, the attention kind of just like dies out when some
I think
successor takes their spot, right? Like it's not.
I think that it happens because they give up. They just stop trying.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with Minecraft YouTube? Beyond just Dream, like Tommy
Yeah.
Innit and
Tommy Innit, yeah.
I think that he could be an extremely popular person, like even more so than he is now. He's got 15 million subscribers, but he's not even getting like 1 million views a video, which is bad. And people blame the death of Technoblade as the reason why he's not getting that. But I think he just gave up. And so I think that's what happens. That's how they're able to be replaced. I think there's room for
and I mean, sure, the audience kind of goes from one end of that type of content to another channel if one person stops doing what they're doing, and they all kind of float to the other guy.
Yeah.
But it's that
if you don't,
it's that attention that's like always given, that's kind of dependent on how well can you actually maintain the audience's like reach of whatever they're interested in. And
and how often, how much can you keep it interesting and entertaining?
Yeah.
And I think people just give up.
So maybe he's popular in the sense that like he has amassed a very large following,
but he's not popular.
He's not popular in the sense that he is always being watched, right?
Yeah, like during his peak, he would do random streams from like on his MacBook, from a hotel room, and he'd get like 120. He'd become number one on Twitch,
right?
On just a random stream at like 2 a.m. He'd become the number one. He broke so many records. He broke the fastest channel to hit 100,000 subscribers. It was like sub a minute.
That's crazy.
The first video on that channel hit like 20 million views. The next video, 30 million views. Like he was absurdly popular.
Right.
But then he just stopped trying. And I think there's a bit of laziness in that. I think,
Is it because he was able to see his competitors actually quicken the pace of how well they were doing?
I don't think he had any competitors.
Yeah.
There's nobody who was making like that kind of content and was anywhere even close to as successful as him.
Right.
Like maybe the next closest person had like 2-3 million subscribers and he was at like 10. And the next closest person was only posting like once every year even.
But that kind of publicity in that short amount of time is something other than just mere chance, is what you're saying. It's something that I think has to do with like their persona and just how they the first impression mainly.
Yeah, right? He had a very unique persona, and also there was like an appeal of, I used to watch him a lot. That's just really bad to admit, but whatever. The idea of we're the same age, and so as he grows up, as I grow up, he grows up, and so his content will shift,
right? And
more than likely, it'll continue keeping my interest if he continues creating good content.
Yeah,
he didn't, and he still doesn't. But that's besides the point.
Yeah,
I don't know. I have a lot of opinions about that, but that does not need to be shared. Also, I think it's probably better if I don't share it.
That's good.
I don't want to get canceled.
Cancel culture is crazy. On the internet.
I think
probably every form of
you have to. It's so material. Different compared like short YouTubers compared to long form YouTubers, because like if I don't know, there was like an incident. Did you hear about the incident with the Manny show?
I didn't. No.
He's got like 14 million subscribers or something.
Yeah.
All he does is steal people's videos and just replace them with him. It's really stupid. But he's been doing that for years.
Right.
He's basically a brain rot YouTuber. But he only was starting to get flack for it because he started copywriting people.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was like, because shorts, you don't pay attention to who people are.
Right.
Compared to long form. If a long form YouTuber does something wrong, they're going to get flack for it. But if a shorts YouTuber does something wrong, nobody cares unless you did something like so bad that the drama YouTube community starts talking about it.
Yeah, and also you have to have a very, very large presence, depending on how
you have
much
to have an absurdly large presence.
Yeah, I mean, and most with shorts, it's
after like
it's what's the topic, what can I learn, and then how much do I like it or not. Next, you know, long form is a little bit more intentional, where the audience, they have a point. like they want to learn something.
Yeah.
So
as a I do shorts.
Yeah.
I do think of myself as very exempt from cancel culture.
Yeah.
I'd have to do something like.
Is that because really your content is kind of evasive in the sense that like people can kind of watch it, move on, and just not be attached to you because of how you've done your content?
I think it's also because it's shorts.
Okay.
I think yes, and I think that's just less because of how I've done my content, more just because I've done shorts and only shorts.
Right. What area of the platform you've concentrated most of your work in?
Because people don't know. Like 500 million people have heard my voice.
Right.
Maybe like 10 of them could tell you what my name is.
Yeah.
500 million people have heard my friend's voice. Maybe 10 of them could tell you what his name is.
Yeah.
Because they don't look at the name. They don't,
Well, they don't
care.
It's
right there in the video.
Right, but
nobody reads.
They don't care too. I mean, why would they care?
Yeah.
Like they have only an interest in like watching the video. Like they don't need to know who the creator is necessarily if it's nothing personal.
Yeah.
So,
you a big Hamilton fan? Are you a big musical fan?
I don't know.
Do you listen to musicals?
I listen to some musicals. I watch some musicals. Okay, what do you think is a percentage of how much you actually listen to the musical versus watch it in terms of what you care the storyline goes about as being?
What does that
like
mean?
What it's focused on? Is it more about what it sounds like, or is it more about what it looks like?
I don't know. I view musicals as like I kind of listen to them like a podcast.
Okay.
Like, I'll listen to Hamilton, and I've seen it as well.
Yeah.
But like, I listen to the story, but also I like each individual song. So I would say a mix of both.
Okay. But some YouTubers, and I can't get over this as much as I would like to. The way they introduce every single video.
I know. Why are you
at a level of formatted like Microsoft Word like appeal is just
they never changed. They started doing YouTube in 2012 and they haven't changed.
Has not changed one bit. So maybe it'll change, maybe it won't. I doubt it because
it won't.
Gen Z learns from all the people and then does the opposite thing, and then all of the younger generations are going to do the thing that Gen Z does, which is what I just described.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Crazy stuff though. Crazy stuff. Till next time.
Stay engaged.
That's terrible. Oh man. Okay.